Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to share with you guys how I used to make money back in 2009 versus how I make money now in 2019. Alright, so I got the idea to do this video because I was just thinking back, 10 years from this year, which is 2019, was 2009. And I was thinking how different things were in my life in all aspects. And I thought it would be fun to share with you the ways that I actually used to try and make more money back when, this world that we live in, which is like the whole internet, YouTube, Facebook, Google, when all that stuff was not as popular and it was not as happening back then. So 2009, there was internet and cell phones, they were just starting to be like smartphones. I can't remember what kind of a phone I had. I don't know if I still had like a flip phone or a BlackBerry. I probably had like a BlackBerry type phone or some sort of flip phone. And there was like Facebook, but YouTube was not as popular as it is now. And online transactions, online buying was not where it is now. So back in 2009, I still had a job. I actually had two jobs. I had a 9-to-5 job where I was an insurance claims clerk / adjuster, and that basically meant that I was on the phone lines, and if you got into a car accident, you would call me up and tell me you got into a car accident, you hit a deer, you have a chip in your windshield, and then I would help you out accordingly. Either I would tell you which body shop to go to if you had a chip in your windshield, or I would send you off to another type of adjuster if you got into a car accident with another car. So I had that job, and I was also a Starbucks barista. So I worked at Starbucks, I made the drinks, and I was cashier as well. And I would have those two jobs because very early on when I was in the work industry, I realized very early on that there is a cap on what you can make at your job, especially the jobs that I was at. So I was at an insurance job and a Starbucks barista job. So if I worked the maximum 40 hours a week, which I did at the insurance job, I was gonna make no more, no less, whether I did this much work or this much work, a lot or a little, I was going to make that set amount every month, because I had like a set yearly wage. And I stopped opening my pay stubs because they would deliver them like not every Friday, maybe every second Friday, they would give you your pay stub. And I stopped opening them because it would just say the same thing over and over again. It would say the exact same number. And it was because I had an hourly set rate. I was making this amount per hour, and that was so you knew how much you were going to make. So I realized that I wanted to make more money, but I was already working the max amount of hours at my insurance job. So then I also worked at Starbucks after my insurance job. So at my insurance job in downtown, I would do like an 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then after that, I would have to race down back to the city called Richmond, which was about 30 minutes away. And it could have been longer because if there was traffic, it could have been like up to an hour. And I would race down to the Starbucks and then start my shift for 6 p.m. to midnight. Then go and sleep. And then the next day, I'm at 8 a.m. back in downtown doing my insurance job. So that was tiring, to say the least. So that was kind of like the first main ways that I was making money, was having a job. That's how you generally make money, is you have a job, and if you need more money, then you get another job. So I had two jobs. Now there was there was internet, but making money online wasn't really a thing yet. And I think blogging was starting, but I hadn't really caught on to that kind of a wave. So I was trying to think, how can I make more money besides these two jobs? So the next way that I actually used to make money was actually collecting cans and bottles. So here in British Columbia, we have a recycling program where if you return cans and bottles, you get money for it. Now, it's not a huge amount. It's like 5 cents for a can, 10 cents for like a larger bottle, and I think 20 cents for like those 2-liter pop bottles. And you would get different amounts for alcohol and beer cans and bottles as well. So I utilized my workspace to actually get a whole bunch of cans and bottles. So at Starbucks, they serve drinks, and they actually served bottled drinks. They don't serve pop or alcohol or anything like that, but they served these kind of handcrafted root beer. It was like a healthier root beer, and then they'd have juice in a can as well. And also when we would make apple juice, like apple juice cider drinks, hot cider, or sometimes kids just wanted cold apple juice, they'd have like a bigger apple juice container, kind of like what you would buy in a grocery store, and that would be like, I don't know, 15 cents or 20 cents or something like that. So I told all my coworkers and all the people at Starbucks that I was going to be collecting these cans and bottles, and if you could put them on the side, if you see them when customers are done or leaving them, or they left them outside in the patio, please grab them for me, and I will go and take them to recycle. I actually did really like recycling, but also I wanted to earn as much extra income as I could. And at my work at the insurance job in downtown, we had a pop machine in our lunchroom, and people were always drinking like pop drinks and water bottles. Everyone always had that kind of thing around their desk. So I didn't want to tell people that I want the pop bottles because I'm wanting to get extra income. I told people that my sister, my younger sister, which she's only a year younger, I told them that my younger sister was doing a bottle drive campaign for her dentistry program at UBC. So I basically said that my sister was doing a bottle drive, and if anyone had any cans or bottles, that I would take them and then put them towards her bottle drive. There was no bottle drive. That was just me wanting to collect and earn more income from bottles and cans. And you're probably thinking like, oh, what, 5 cents, 10 cents? You know what, you made a couple extra dollars each month? Well, I actually got it to a point where I was making between like 100 to 300 extra dollars from these cans and bottles. And when you don't know how to make money online, and that's the only way you know how to make extra income, that is pretty cool, because that was like an extra, like an 8-hour shift at Starbucks. You didn't get paid very much. You got paid like, what, $12 an hour or something like that at the time? So an extra 100 to 300 was awesome. Now, when I had those cans and bottles, I had to obviously go and return them and bag them and stuff. So that was work too, because you had to be at the bottle depot and sort them and count them and return them. So, it wasn't all free money. I had to work for it as well. The next way that I used to make money in 2009 was to sign up for research studies at the University of British Columbia. So both my sister and my business partner, Urit, went to UBC, which is the University of British Columbia. And I first found out about these kinds of psychology studies because Urit, my business partner, she majored in psychology. And we would always go into the psychology building. And there was like this kind of like message board where people would post up things. And you would see students posting that, they need people to participate in their research study, and they were willing to pay you like between $5 to $15, $20 if you were lucky. But it was usually $5, $10, $15 to participate in this research study. So I would go in there and grab all of the like pieces of paper that you rip off from the flyer, and then I would either call or email them, and I would sign up for these studies. And they were really easy. It was nothing like creepy or weird. You would just do like a written survey, like reading questions and answering. There was no right or wrong. That was the cool thing. They would always tell you there's no right or wrong way to do this, and even if you had to bail for whatever reason, they would still pay you. So there were different studies like writing, or you had to like watch a video and like press a button or something. I don't remember them exactly like what the studies were for, but I remember they were really easy. And then at the end, they would pay you like $5, $10, $15. Sometimes if you were lucky, you got $20. And that was another way. That was another way I would go and sign up for as many research studies as I could. And the last way that I used to make money in 2009, when there was no internet, no YouTube or anything like this, was I would try and find odd jobs on Craigslist. So I'd go into the jobs section on Craigslist and I would find like random stuff that people needed help with. And what I mainly found was extra work. So extra work is basically when someone is like, or a production company is like filming something and they just need like people to stand or pretend to be a customer or be a crowd or something. They needed people like that and they would pay you, and usually they would pay you pretty well. One I remember in particular was there was a new store opening, like an electronics store in the city that I live in, and they needed people to just like stand in line and pretend to be like a customer. You didn't have to say anything. The cool thing was when you're an extra, you literally just stand there. Like you don't have any speaking parts or anything like that, and they'll pay you. So we had to stand in line at this electronics store and pretend like we were standing in line at a cashier to buy something. And it was less than an hour, and then you got paid $100. Each person got paid $100 to just stand there. So I liked finding gigs like that because they were usually really easy and they usually paid pretty well. So those are all the ways that I used to make money in 2009. Thinking back to it, it's like, wow, that was my version of hustling back in 2009 because, when I had my 9-to-5 job, and that was my paycheck, the same paycheck every week, I wanted to make more. I knew that everything was going to be capped if I just stayed at that level. So I did as many methods as I could to try and make more income. Now it's a totally different story. That's one of the reasons why I was so fascinated with the internet and online world, because your income is literally limitless and you can create as much or as little of it as you want. So now I make money online. I make money with this YouTube channel, affiliate marketing, courses that we create, one-on-one coaching, e-commerce stuff, whether it be on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Merch by Amazon, the t-shirts, Etsy. And I have to say that I love doing this more. Don't get me wrong, I learned a lot about all those side hustles that I did in 2009, but I would much rather do what I'm doing now because you have much more freedom. Still a lot of work, don't get me wrong, all this is still hard work, but I like how I can travel. I don't have to submit anything to my boss to, request time off and potentially get denied. I used to hate that. I like how I can take sick days whenever I want. If I'm not feeling it, or if I'm actually not feeling good, I don't have to do work that day. So I just wanted to share with you the difference that 10 years can make. 10 years, it's like long and short at the same time. And I've been an entrepreneur now since 2011. That's when I left my job. And that's another story for you guys. I'll share that one with you. But ever since leaving, I never would want to go back. There's no circumstance that would make me ever want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. So hope you guys enjoyed this story time. What are some side hustles that you guys used to do back in 2009? Let me know in the comments section down below. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Back from the dead.